Section 45 has been explained. No dispute on a policy after 3 years. Again, the insurer is responsible. If he has to run his business profitably, if he has to stay in business for long, he has to ensure that his agents are well equipped, they give the right type of advice to the customer, they do a proper field underwriting, they do a proper medical underwriting, and they ensure that they are more honest to both the customer and the insurance company. And the insurers should constantly monitor it if they have to remain profitable. Because insurer cannot repudiate any claim after 3 years. If an insurer is slack, he had it. You can understand that. So this is to make the insurer, the field force, and the customer, everybody empowered. The insurer cannot simply say, okay, my agent has done this, I don't know, what can I do? I repudiate the policy. Agent goes sometimes scot-free or sometimes some penalties are levied. That is another part. And then the customer, and then the insurance company, everybody suffers. So now the Section 45 is such that the insurance company almost pays a penalty if they don't do a proper underwriting. Settling a claim, if an insurance company has to settle a 1 crore claim because somebody has done an improper medical underwriting or a field underwriting, then it is just like an insurance company paying a penalty for somebody's thing. So that is the impact of this, and I am very sure insurance companies will try to rise the standards and see that they act more profitably in the future by doing proper underwriting and things like that. The licensing of insurance agents has been removed because this was one of the central points which was often referred to as hindering the progress of the distribution channel. They said we have to go to IRDA to get a license and things like that, and we have to pay the fees and we have to pay penalty and all these things. So in one stroke, it has been told no licensing. You just have to pass the exam. You go with a certificate, just like you have passed a school certificate, you go there saying I have passed a school certificate. Similarly, you pass the insurance exam, you take both the certificates, say I have passed a school certificate and I have passed the insurance exam, you will be appointed as an agent by the insurance company. As simple as that. Of course, I attended a meeting earlier. They said, why do you require an insurance pass certificate? Somebody can even ask me, why do you require a SSC certificate also? That is a different dispute, but it has been made so simple that you have a 10th pass certificate and a insurance pass certificate. Because insurance pass certificate is a must, because you are responsible for the acts of the company is responsible for the act of the agent. So you should have some minimum good amount of knowledge on insurance. So this has been put there. And I think many of these changes which have been brought about are mostly customer focused. They will ultimately help the customer to become more empowered to work, to have his insurance well serviced. The point which Mr. Manikam was mentioning about expenses. Expenses is always what is paid legitimately and what is paid appropriately for a particular service. So if I have given X amount of service, I should get X amount of declared remuneration. Remuneration is declared for every product. If you sell endowment policy, you will get so much, so much, so much. In the first year, second year, third year, fourth year, 10th year, 20th year, 30th year, everything is told in the first year. You will get so much. If you sell a term insurance policy, you will get so much, so much, so much up to the term of the policy. So everything is told at the point of sale to the agent. Now, an insurance company designs a product taking various factors into account. When the pricing is done, It takes the risk, it takes the age of the person, the risk of the person, the profile. Of course, in India, we are not allowed insurance companies to do data analytics and find out where the mortality is high. A person staying in Delhi is more prone to risk because of the pollution. Here he's, or rather, to put it the other way, he's more safer here in the villages, so the premium should be less in the villages. That type of thing is not done. There's a level premium across the country. And when the premiums are fixed, everything becomes a component of the premium. The person, his age, his health, the commissions paid, the expenses of the company, everything is factored together, and then the premiums are arrived at. So the commissions are a part of the pricing policy of the product. What the government has told us, or what the Act bill has told us, that insurers can set apart, or the regulator can give a permission to the insurer to set apart a particular amount as expense limit. Beyond this limit, you cannot spend. We have similar limit for employees' expenses. We are coming out with a similar limit for marketing expenses. So beyond this limit, you cannot go. So within that limit, you can do it. Just like all of you should have heard, the banks, they say 12% is under negotiation, 12.5% is under negotiation. So that type of overall thing is there. And then various other benefits, other than the product benefits, are also incorporated in that, and that regulations will come in the future because a lot more discussions are going on that. These are some of the important things which are there in the Act. But I think I attended a meeting in the ministry last Friday, and they had almost finalized these two schemes, the Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Bima Yojana and the Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Suraksha Yojana. They're telling that it is likely to be rolled out in mid-May or definitely on 1st June. So these two things will become the real paradigm shifts. They'll bring about a change. We'll have more people covered under insurance, the insuring the uninsured, banking the unbanked, and funding the unfunded. Funding the unfunded through Mudra, banking the unbanked through Pradhan Mantri's Jan Dhan, and insuring the uninsured through Jeevan Jyoti and Bima Suraksha. I think if these three things really work out, all that good things which we wish to happen, 9% growth or 10% or 12% growth, or all these things, I'm definitely very positive these things will happen. I'm not talking on behalf of anybody, but I feel these things will happen. And definitely our indices, which we are today looking at with pessimism and hoping for optimism, will ultimately make us feel proud to look at with optimism. I wish you all the best. I once again thank you for this opportunity.